What do you think helped you get selected for the internship? How were you all able to kind of navigate the interview process? And what do you think was that one thing that really made you all stand out as candidates when you were interviewing?
So I learned how to speak about my projects really well. And I think that made a very big impact. And that really happened through consistent interviewing and just practice, practice, practice. So what I did was I gave concrete examples. And some of the feedback I got from like my previous internship interviewers was that nothing I did sounded like I made it up. I seemed like I knew what I was doing because of those concrete examples. So when I started, I had the worst interview skills ever, like probably worse than anyone here. I was eyeing and umming, and there was awkward silences. And no one tells you this, but that's all okay. Like, yeah, those ums and uhs are distracting, and you should practice avoiding them. But it really doesn't matter. What matters is your content. And the second part is that you should build at least one project that you can show off. So this might be more like towards tech, but I'm sure it can work for like other fields as well. Having one project you can show off and at least one leadership experience where you volunteered. Everyone has something already, you just need to know how to talk about it. So talking about things, how to talk about them, I'll like paste in the chat like a specific outline that I follow. I have a reusable cheat sheet for points about like my project and insightful behavior question answers when I practice. I practice for about like an hour beforehand, no matter if I care about this interview or not. And lastly, challenge yourself to do things that you don't know how to do, and then you can show that off at the interview.
Great answer. For me, I practiced my interview skills and I didn't even have an interview coming up. So I was just way ahead of the game. And I did this really all thanks to Andre. Andre has a club called Smooth Talkers. He would put me on the spot, ask me questions, and I'll try my best to answer a question and he'll catch any mistakes. So I really have to give it all to Andre for my interview skills. And how I got selected for this is a really like funny story. So I had an interview once and I walked in and I saw so many people. It was really terrifying. I was just like, oh my God, there's so many people. And I sat down and I was talking to an interviewee and she was telling me, oh, we're just talking, chatting. And then she was saying, she really hit me with this one. She was like, oh, they mostly hire NYU and Columbia students. And I was like, she's like, oh, but what school do you go to? So I was just like Brooklyn College. Yeah. And so I was really like stressed out in that moment. Like, what a way to like tell me the day of, right after I just have to walk in. So I could have really chose to go the lane of self-doubt, or honestly, in that moment, I was like, oh no, I have to bring on my A game. I knew I had to like give it my all. And when I walked in, I just gave them oh my God, just like I'm remembering that is making me nervous. But when I walked in, I just like gave it my all, personality. I answered the question as best as I can. And I just knew I had to stand out. And how I knew I answered it very well and I got selected, me and Michael actually hosted an event with them. And they mentioned how well I answered my interview questions and how I stood out to them. So from that moment, I was just like, yeah, I really did that. So really to practice for your interviews will help you get selected. It's the only way. Definitely, if you're shy, it's okay. They understand. But like Allina said, just you have to talk about your skills, show potential. You may not be amazing at X, Y, and Z, but you could say, you know what, I'm working on it, give them examples. You really have to prove to them that you are a good fit for this position. Why else would they have not called you? And that's how I thought to myself, you know what, I was so nervous because of what that interview said, but you know what, I'm here for a reason and I want to show them that I'm a good candidate, and really proud to say that I was able to do that mainly because of my confidence. So really just have confidence. It's okay. We all get nervous, regardless if it's an interview, graduate, whatever it is, we all get nervous about something, but you really just have to be confident and just give it your all. So don't give up.
Yeah, I love all of your advices. I'm here like taking notes. Oh, cool. Okay. But anyways, I would say being able to, be human and show your personality. And I mean, of course, you have to, answer their questions and using like the star method, of course, but I'm not gonna talk about that because I feel like everyone already knows it. But being able to be human and have regular conversations with them. I read this article somewhere and they said, like, if they ask you, how are you? Don't just say good. Like, you just end the conversation there. So, being able to act like you're already like their friend or already part of the company, making it less awkward and more about a conversation. Because at the end of the day, they're not the only one interviewing you. You're interviewing them to see if you might be a good fit for their role as well. So, making it very, I guess, balanced just because, they might be nervous as well. You might be nervous. So being able to just, bring your fun energy. I mean, of course, answering the behavioral questions. And then on the more technical side, I would say that for those behavioral questions, have specific situations in mind. So if they ask you, hey, tell me about a time when you had a challenging situation, like I usually just bring up the same example because I know I have it memorized in a sense. So just having specific examples for those behavioral questions.
Make sure to check out the My Career tab on the BC Navigator app, where you can track your career progress based on the amount of credits you've earned, stay updated on upcoming events from the Magner Center, and watch our videos for insight and advice on your career field.